What else can do?
Yes. You're very happy. Yes. Once in a while it comes to what will I do next time is coming? There you go. I started. The time I have is if you are. Yeah. Are you chatting?
I don't even know how to do it. Now I get it. What is it matter?
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. The program will be starting in about 10 minutes. So just continue mingling, and then in about 10 minutes we'll be starting. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, exactly. I worry to keep the view of it. Don't tell people 7 to 8. When it was my own I can see people getting very fast. Even that 10 minutes. I think it has
Maybe Saturday is a back open.
Sometimes some customers, because my family was a teacher, just to the customers. He gave you a firm foundation.
Certainly.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll now call session to order. Good morning once more. My name is Henry Chege, Investor Relations Manager at Retail. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the AfricInvest bearing ceremony. I think today marks a special day for both Retail Holdings PLC and ourselves. So I think without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Geoffrey Odunto to make his opening remarks. Apologies for the delay in the timings. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry, good morning.
Good morning.
I know it's a very exciting day for us. And part of the reason my slight delay is that I was trying to prep for it. But I must say that we are very delighted to be here as the NSC. We normally rate this on the NSC, but we're having some construction taking place. So this is pretty good. We're just about 5-10 meters away from the NSC, so you're within our jurisdiction. First of all, is to say good morning. I'd like to, first of all, make some very greetings. So I'll probably first of all by saying to Chairman Andrew, it's a delight to be here. Dr. Benson Wairegi, my former boss, again, it's a delight to be here. Mr. Munga, it's a pleasure to have you here. Directors of the Britam, Stephen Wandera, my former boss as well. Again, I'm glad to be here. We expect CMA to be here, Paul Mudaura. The board of directors of NSC. Apologies for my chairman, he's sort of caught up, but we should expect a couple of directors. My colleagues, Bahati Morara, Director Commercial. CBA, I still want to figure out how CBA is here in such a strong force. I quite can't clearly get it. This is the entire CBA.
I'll explain.
George has to explain that. Naval Suit, it's a pleasure to see you again. So management and staff of Britam, I think it's a delight for us as NSC to see all of you here, including investors like Ali Khan behind there, my regular panelist in the investment sector. So on behalf of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, let me first of all, once again, congratulate Britam and AfricInvest for this great day that they have brought together. It's another milestone for the company. Britam has been extremely transformative in how they are expanding and growing the company. And we believe that this is again another positive step towards the strategic direction of the company. I think for us, listing 360 million new shares on the NSE is equivalent to another IPO. So I think Benson, what you've done today is really made NSE extremely proud. You're bringing close to 5.75 billion to the market cap of the NSE, which makes us cross the line of 30 billion market cap, which was, I suppose, our aspiration for the end of this year. You've taken it forward and also improved my performance targets. So we're really delighted with this particular initiative, and we believe it's going to position the NSE as a leading exchange in East and Central Africa. This represents about 14.3% of the company's share capital, and hence makes AfricInvest a strategic investor into the company. I think AfricInvest has been well received by the shareholders, and really being your first public listing investment, I think you made a statement that you're really keen on seeing the growth of the financial sector in Kenya. Our relationship with Britam dates back to 2011, when Britam listed on the exchange. And you have since tapped into the capital markets to do additional fundraisings to finance your strategic growth, and which has now made you position yourself as a leading financial services provider in the East and Central Africa region, providing insurance business in the area of life, general health insurance, retirement planning, asset management, and other property solutions. I was just telling Benson that NSE is proud to be one of your clients. And when I sit there as a trustee, I pose very tough questions to those guys because I'm proud of Britam as really our financial services provider. We are cognizant of your support in the corporate social responsibility initiatives that are geared towards making you a very responsive corporate citizen, through enhancing economic, social, and environmental, and social values for East Africans who are transforming the lives and livelihoods of Kenyans. We commend you for these efforts, and we really look forward to your continuous support of these programs. At the NSE, we're trying to promote corporate governance and really ESG reporting and other initiatives around supporting our communities, and hence your response to that has been magnificent. I think if you look at the property space, Britam has been quite a great investor. You have changed the skyline of Nairobi. About 2 or 3 months ago, I gave Benson a picture of the new Nairobi skyline, and your tower stood very prominently there. And so you really made Kenya proud. We had guests the other day, and they think the Upper Hill is the Canary Wharf of Africa. So Benson, again, you and your team have done extremely well to make Nairobi skyline attractive. Esteemed guests, our markets can only prosper through continuous innovation to address the ever-changing needs of our clients, tastes and risk appetites. And noting that part of your capital raising is towards providing more innovative solutions, I think this is a great step forward. NSC is committed towards growing financial instruments on our side, enhancing or strengthening the trading infrastructure, and also providing a platform that's available, accessible, and internationally recognized. Just a few milestones about the NSC this year that we're also proud to mention. The first one is that in January, we were admitted as the members of the World Federation of Exchanges, the 6th exchange in Kenya, in Africa, to be admitted. We've also received approval now to go on pilot for the derivatives market, making us the 2nd exchange in Africa to do that. We've launched real estate investment trusts, which would like you to tap into exchange-traded funds. Again, another very exciting product. And in the words of Ali Khan, when we sat on the panel, he said we've created a very beautiful financial infrastructure. What we need is to now products from yourselves to enhance the growth of this market. So we look forward to Britain playing a very role in supporting us in the growth and development of our market, and really becoming a key player in that particular space. So again, just to cap it all, we're really happy that Britain has made this milestone move. As I said again, you have made a milestone change to the exchange, giving us an additional 5.75 billion market cap and taking us beyond our 30 billion market cap as we aspire to get to 40 billion by the end of this year or early next year. So again, on behalf of the chairman, Sam Kimani, the board of directors of the NSC, I would once again want to congratulate you on this milestone move and milestone relationship, and really look forward to a great performance of this company in the coming years and a better and stronger performance in your share price on the exchange. Thank you once again. I just wanted to close, and sorry for not saying that. I think, as you say it in your strategy 2016-2020, go for gold. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for those few remarks. I'd like now to welcome the Managing Director, AfricInvest.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I've spoken so many times in front of very large audiences, but I don't know why I can never figure out how to get rid of that nervous itch before you start speaking. I think it's in order for me to start by, first of all, recognizing the people in the room, starting with the chairman of the company, Andrew Wallace. Salutations to you. The rest of the Britain board, Peter Munga, Dr. Peter Munga, Dr. Benson Wairegi, Group CEO, Steve, Gladys, the rest of the team. So first of all, recognizing the Britain team. And then, of course, recognizing my old friend, Jeff Odundo, CEO of the NSC. Thank you very much in regards to your chairman. Recognizing also CMA. I don't think they're representing, we're expecting Paul, but he's not here. But I think it's in order to still recognize them. I'd also like to recognize a few other people in the room, important partners, people who made this transaction happen, wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Our partners, IFC, are represented here by Edwin. Our other partners, DEG, the regional directors here, and the regional director for Popako. We appreciate your support. Also, the transaction advisors, the people who worked in the background to make this happen. A&K law firm, thank you very much. We were expecting PwC. I don't see anybody here. They also helped. Also, we must recognize the efforts from the Britain transaction advisors. Christine from Bowman's. We've got a very strong partnership with Bowman's. And also Naval and Francis are here from Stanbic CFC. Thank you very much for all the work that was done in the background. And of course, all the Britain team. This sounds like a vote of thanks, but it really isn't. It's just, just recognizing that there are people who, if they didn't help, we would not be in this room, and just respecting that. I'd also like to explain to Jeff why CBA is here in such strong numbers. CBA happens to be, when you talk money, when you talk transactions, somebody needs to be the bank that works the background, and that bank was CBA. So thank you very much to Isaac, Jeremy, and the team. So they actually happen to be the bank for both Britam and AfricInvest. So even when we were bringing the money in, they were the bank and they were passing the money on. So thank you for the support. That's really appreciated. We hope the partnership continues. Let me start by telling you very quickly in a few words who AfricInvest are. AfricInvest are actually 25 years old. AfricInvest has been in the private equity market for 25 years this May. We started our trade in 1994. 3 guys from Tunisia, one of them an ex-banker, one an ex-auditor, another one an ex-engineer. And some of you have heard me tell this story before, but these 3 guys started off, they wanted to solve problems of the world, help people raise capital. And they had no clue what private equity and venture capital was about. They met FMO, the Dutch, eventually, who trained them. They raised the first fund. The first check was written 100,000 guilders those days, there were no euros. And that fund today is traded in the Tunis Stock Exchange, and it's got a market cap of about 5 million euros. So small, still does the same thing, helping support small businesses. So one of the things we've done, even though we don't have public listing experience in Kenya, we've done public listing in Nigeria, we've done public listing in Tunisia, in Morocco, and it's something we support and we will do. So even though we're a private equity player, a portion of our funds can be put on public listed markets, and that's something we will continue to do with the end game of promoting businesses and economies. So the group started 25 years ago, 3 guys, fast track 25 years later. This is $1 billion under management. We're actually close to $1.5 billion under management. We've got offices in 7 countries in Africa today: Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cairo, Egypt, Kenya, and then 1 office in Paris because of a partnership we have with the French government. So that's the AfricInvest team. There's about 70 investment officers today from 3 guys, about 100 of us when you count the back office and mid office. So we're definitely one of the larger teams in Africa in private equity. And what is it that we do? We invest in businesses and help them grow. We stay anything between 3 to 7 years, but we help these businesses grow. And we were talking with Peter Munga, and he was asking me, what has been behind your success? And because we came to this market in 2009, 2008, we did our first investment in Rwanda in a bank. And then we did a bank in Kenya, we did a school in Kenya, we did another insurance group. And we've exited all of these investments eventually, grow them, we exit. And what's been behind our success is having local teams on the ground. That's extremely important. And just getting to understand the environment. And then we don't invest in sectors we don't understand. And if you came and said to me, the example I gave Peter when we were talking, come to do a real estate deal with me, I couldn't do that. We don't understand real estate and we don't pretend to. But if you tell me there's a deal in education, a deal in insurance, a deal in banking, we get very excited because we've done this in different markets, even in this market. So investing in sectors we know, investing in teams on the ground, just that discipline over the years is what has helped us succeed. And we're very excited about, if I go straight to this particular partnership, this partnership with Britain, we're very excited because it's a sector we know well. We've invested in insurance before, in North Africa, Francophone West Africa, Anglophone West Africa, and even in East Africa. So it's a sector we know well. We've invested in regional businesses before. So we've invested in businesses. I've sat in boards and worked with management teams in South Sudan, in Rwanda, in Uganda. So it's a region we know well as well. So that gives us comfort. And so we're very excited. And when we look at Britain and we look at where it's going, we looked at your strategy going for gold. We looked at what you can do, the potential. We felt that this was the right group to work with. And having interacted with the senior management team and the directors, we felt that there is a chemistry. We can work together. It's not going to be easy, but for sure, Britain is definitely a star today and definitely one of the stars of the future. In view of the fact that we have challenges in this environment, this new age digital environment that we have to take into account, the competitive landscape we have, there are lots of new
players coming into the market. We have to take that into account. But we are confident that we can take this company to the next level working with yourselves. I think what I would have liked to say to the CMA if they were here is we need to be cognizant as regulators to encourage markets to grow and to offer an environment that works. When we start to hear tax rates are going to be increased on capital gains tax from 5 to 20%, when we start to hear that pay-as-you-earn rates for individuals are going to go to 35%, some of us stop and say maybe our policy makers are getting it wrong. Sometimes it's not about taxing the people who are being taxed even more. It's about increasing the tax band. So there is a conversation that needs to happen there. And I think that's also something we can add value in, because we don't just invest and go home. We invest, we engage with policymakers, we engage and involve ourselves in management. So those are conversations we can keep for another day. But with those few remarks, and again, thank you to everybody. I'd just like to take a seat and say to all of you that we're really excited about joining you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Eregu to give his remarks.
I always have to bring this thing down. Previous speakers have finished their speaking. It's going to 8:30. I hear the markets need to open by 9, and by 9 we should be done, so that these shares can be listed and start trading. I want to start, therefore, by thanking all of you, as has been done by the previous speakers, for coming, and also welcoming you to this event. Thank you, Chairman, for being available so early in the morning. Thank you, Dr. Munga, for also being able to make it, and all of you who have come this morning. George, you didn't need to explain why the bankers are here, particularly some of them, because Britain also has a long-standing relationship with the bank, and some of the people in that bank are former students of some classes some of us taught many years ago. So thank you very much, the bankers who are here. Isaac. We have a lot of guests, and I wouldn't acknowledge all of them individually because I'll miss some of the names. But I want to thank Geoffrey, CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, for affording us this opportunity to come here and make this announcement. As you correctly observed, you are an alumni of Britain. It shows that Britain can also mentor leaders. So we are very happy to have mentored you in our pensions department and in Britain in general, and to have become what you have become. Really, really grateful for the work you do in the Securities Exchange. We are also very appreciative of the Capital Markets Authority, though they are not here. I spoke to Paul last night and he gave his apologies. He said he was busy in another engagement, which he had arranged before, and he couldn't make it. But in absentia, we want to say thank you very much to the CMA for the support that they have given Britain, not just in this transaction, but throughout the year since we listed this company on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. I want to thank our board of directors, led, as I said, by Andrew Horace. They have steered and led the management and the organization to the level where we are very happy as an organization and as a management team to feel that we are going in the right direction. They oversee everything that we are doing as management, and we have worked in very good collaboration. And although the thanks will be said later on, I want to take this opportunity to thank the board under the leadership of Andrew Horace for the support that you have given us. I know Andrew will be coming here to make a few remarks, so I wouldn't want to preempt his remarks. But specifically about this transaction, I want to acknowledge the contribution by the members of management of Britain. More specifically, Stephen Mondera, the Principal Executive Director in the group. Stephen leads all the businesses, the insurance businesses, the asset management, the property, and in that role, he has provided guidance and leadership to the businesses, and in particular, this particular transaction, he led the team in terms of providing the information that was required from the businesses from a due diligence perspective. And so thank you, Stephen. I want to thank Gladys Karoli, who is the second Principal Executive Director, but in Britain, as Principal Executive Director, she is in charge of finance, she is in charge of strategy, and she is in charge of the operations, more so the back office. And for this specific transaction, I can actually publicly declare that Gladys led the entire team. I provided the support, but the driver of this transaction was Gladys. So thank you, Gladys, for doing that. Gladys is a team, in the name of Judah Nico, our Group Chief Investment Officer. Jude coordinated the due diligence process. At one point, I don't know how George reacted to Jude, but there must have been quite a lot of frustrations. But in the final analysis, Jude became your right-hand man and brought us this far. There are many other members of the Britain team who are here who provided the support. I can see Bruce Dabani, the CEO of Britain Life. I can see Nancy looking, the Director of Legal and Company Secretary. Without Nancy on the legal and regulatory side, this transaction would not have been successful. So thank you, Nancy. Muthaga Ngera on the PR side, our Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs. Thank you, Muthaga, for managing the PR side. And who else? I'm just looking at those who are here. There are many others who are not here. Eddie Courier in my office, Chief of Staff. Susan Kariuki, Chief Actuary, Product Development, and everybody else who is here, but I've not been able to acknowledge. But as I said, the thanks will be said later on. In terms of transaction advisors, I know George has taken the opportunity to acknowledge all the transaction advisors who helped bring this transaction to a successful conclusion. But I would be failing if I didn't acknowledge the advice and contribution of our transaction advisors, Naval Sood from Stanbic Bank Kenya Limited, and Francis over there, who worked with Naval to really advise us on the valuation and the other activities that transaction advisors do. Thank you, Naval. You've been with us, with Britain, along this journey. We can go back all the way to PW days. And there is a lot of history there, but this transaction was facilitated by your efforts, and thank you very much for that contribution. Christine, where are you? Over there, Christine Mweti, worked with Britain over all these many years, not just on this transaction, but working very closely with Nancy on the legal side of this specific transaction. Christine, you've been very, very helpful in this transaction. And thank you very much. So, whom have I forgotten in terms of thank yous and acknowledgement? I don't think I've forgotten anybody, but all of you who are here, the market participants, Geoffrey, I've acknowledged you from an NSC point of view. I've acknowledged the Capital Markets Authority. In today's newspaper, there is the announcement of the completion of this transaction. And we've also acknowledged the contribution of the other regulators, Central Bank of Kenya and the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Thank you, all of you, for this facilitation. So over to this transaction. George, we started on this journey. I do remember specifically around April 2016. Before that, we had our encounters. We came together through a mutual friend of ours. When he introduced me to you, I thought you were Nigerian, and I was happy to discover you were Kenyan. Not that I have anything against Nigerians, but I was very happy to do that. And throughout that period, we have worked closely together, culminating this relationship in this transaction. This transaction has taken a long time, but we engaged, we discussed, we answered all the questions, you had your concerns, but at the end of the day, all the questions were answered, the due diligence was satisfactory. We put together a team whom you've acknowledged, Rapako, DG, FMO, and AfricInvest. And together through this consortium, we have been able to invest 5.7 billion shillings that has given you a 14.3 or thereabout stake in this organization. I want to take this opportunity to welcome AfricInvest Consortium into Britain.
Thank you.
And we look forward to working closely together to execute this Go for Good strategy, which contains very, very many elements about how we can grow value for the benefit of shareholders and all the stakeholders. This 5.7 billion comes on the heels of another investment by the International Finance Corporation, IFC, represented here by Edwin Bogle over there. Thank you, Edwin, and IFC. And 5.7 billion for 14.3% stake, 3.5 billion from IFC for 10% stake, gives us about 9.2 billion for about 20% stake, or 22%, you can round the numbers, and that's a significant investment in this organization. Very early on when we listed this company in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, we developed a strategy and said Britain wanted to be a Pan-African financial services organization. We wanted to play in insurance in all dimensions. We wanted to expand into more geographies, not just Kenya, and we needed funding to do all that. And we are very happy today that through effective execution of our strategy, we've been able to raise not just the 9.2 billion that has come through AfricInvest and IFC. As Geoffrey acknowledged, we were able to raise 6 billion shillings through a bond in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And it's this money that, first of all, the one that has come that has enabled Britain to achieve what it has achieved amidst very, very many challenges. And looking into this new money, we are looking to do great things. Essentially, what we are saying is we will continue executing our Go for Good strategy. The Go for Good strategy is anchored in fully transforming Britain into an IT-enabled digital enterprise with transformed customer experience, new products and services, strong digital and analytic capabilities with the outreach objective of delivering shareholder value that will enable AfricInvest and other investors, but more particularly AfricInvest, which is a PE fund, which, as George said, invests in companies for periods between 3 to 7 years, that will finally exit in 7 or whatever number of years that you are invested in this company. You'll have grown the value together with us, not just for yourself, but for all the other 25,000 shareholders that we have in this organization to the level that you expect. And we are determined to do this in this collaboration with AfricInvest through this investment that you have given us. More specifically, we want to invest in our distribution channels. We are very strong in the financial advisory network with over 3,000 financial advisors who have actually brought Britain this far into the leading, the #1 life assurance company in East and Central Africa. We want to drive our non-life business into a market leader. We are now not #1, but we envision that we should be #1 through deploying the strategies that we're talking about in our Go for Good strategy. We are looking to strengthen our regional enterprises so that they can make a bigger contribution, not just in revenue, but in profitability. We are seeking to cut costs through improved operational efficiency and increasing our customer numbers from our current 2 million to in excess of 10 million over this strategy period. More specifically, and in investment terms, we are seeking to grow the return on equity to not less than 20% of the capital that we have invested in this group. So, with your coming on board with these funds, AfricInvest, together with all the funds that we have received from other investors, and the efforts of the board of Britain, the efforts of the management in the organization, we will work together to deliver on the Go for Good strategy, which has very, very many aspirations, very many deliverables, which we have enunciated in the strategic document itself, which you saw and enjoyed and liked. And I look forward to really working with you to deliver on these expectations. So with those very many remarks, I would like to invite my chairman, our chairman, Mr. Andrew Horace, to come and make his remarks, and thereafter start the process of delivering the advice of the Securities Exchange. So, Andrew.
I can raise it just a little bit. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you forgive me if I simply acknowledge you as the great and the good of the Kenyan business community. Eddie Kuria, our Chief of Staff, when he was speaking to me about what I should be saying today, said, Andrew, you know, the role of a chairman is to actually take a helicopter view. I think that was a polite way of telling me to be quick and not go into too much detail. So I'll try and achieve that, Eddie. But maybe one of the roles of the chairman is that you do actually take the big picture. And let me reflect on that big picture. I first arrived in Kenya nearly 40 years ago. At that time, a young man called Benson Waregi had just left Pricewaterhouse, that I was transferring from the UK to Pricewaterhouse here. Benson Waregi had just left Pricewaterhouse to become the chief accountant at a life insurance company called British American Insurance. I think 40 years ago, the Nairobi Stock Exchange actually, I think, met at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning in Mathega Club. We didn't have a capital markets authority. We didn't have AfricInvest. And I think George Oddo was probably still sitting on his mother's knee. Now, as I sort of stand here today, You know, I think, you know, sometimes one of the problems we have in this country is that we don't celebrate enough what we've actually achieved. Those of us that have the opportunity to travel around Africa, as I have done for most of those 40 years, and now do again in my role as chairman of this group that operates in 7 different countries, I realize just, you know, how much we have achieved and are achieving in this country. You know, Kenya is the foundation of our region, and Britam is the foundation, or one of the foundations, of the financial services sector in this region. And we should all be very proud of what we are achieving together. And I emphasize that word together. You know, when I look behind me, I don't think it's just coincidence that we see some of the words that are behind me. You know, I see AfricInvest, your partner in Africa. I see Britam with you every step of the way. And what's, I think, critical to our success is the partnerships that we are able to form. It's on the basis of creating teamwork with our investors, with our regulators, with the stock exchange, with our advisors, with our investors, but equally, and perhaps most important of all, the teamwork that we create internally within our organization. A few minutes ago, Benson was standing here giving thanks to all of those people, and he mentioned the great team that we have in Britam by name. Of course, the one name he couldn't mention is his own, Dr. Benson Waregi. And you know, I said this young man left Pricewaterhouse 40 years ago as a chief accountant in a life insurance company. He's now the GMD of a diversified financial services sector operating across 7 countries, multi-product, 800 employees, 3,000 financial advisors. And I have to acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here today, that one man, supported by some good shareholders, takes a lot of credit for that. But, you know, steering my helicopter, we have to be looking, we have to be looking forward. And today, Britam is taking another great step forward in our partnerships. It's tremendously important to us as an organization, as a company, that we have got the confidence of international investors. And the investments that we've received in this last year from IFC and now from AfricInvest is really a great imprimatur. It is actually saying to the local community, the regional community, the wider world, this is a good company, a company that we see with a lot of potential, and it's a company that can grow. And you know, let's face it, we're in this business for the money. I think the head of Sainsbury's, when he said that or something, got into fairly terrible trouble. But I hope I'm amongst friends and that isn't going to go too viral. But we are here. We're here to serve clients, to provide them with high quality service, and by providing high quality service, to give a high quality return to our investors. And the partnerships that we're celebrating today, I think, is the foundation of that. Eddie, I hope that was wherever you are. I hope that was quick enough and high level enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Let's continue to celebrate our joint successes as we go forward. Thank you all.
You can just land back on Earth.
Thank you, Chairman. I think a lot has been said, and I think we owe to the speakers today to give them another applause. So I think before we give the vote of thanks, I'd like to invite a panel for a bearing ceremony. So that then now, towards the end, then we'll have a vote of thanks. So to grace the bearing function occasion, I'd like to invite our chairman, Mr. Andrew Wallace.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
9 o'clock.
Yes. 9 o'clock. Okay. Then I think with that, then I'll invite Gladys to offer our remarks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I'm here to offer a vote of thanks, and I think that has been done by literally everyone who's spoken. But on a day like this one, which is a very important day for Britain, for AfricInvest, and for the rest of us, I think we can say enough thanks. So I'll continue and offer that vote of thanks. And to start that off, I start with our board. The board of directors, we started this journey of fundraising, not just with AfricInvest, about 3 years ago, or even more. And throughout that journey, you've walked with us. When you started talking about raising 9 billion shillings, at that point, it sounded like a big thing, a big dream, perhaps unachievable. But here we are with 9.2 billion shillings. The board of directors, led by a chairman, Mr. Andrew Wallace, our other director, Dr. Munga. Dr. Munga, you've always really been there supporting these transactions. You're the chair of the Investment and Strategy Committee, which really looks at this. Thank you so much for all your support. We have other board members, Dr. Benson Noiredi, our Group Managing Director, from a management perspective and from a board perspective. Mr. Stephen Wandera, also our board members. Thank you very, very much for the support and working with the team. Without you, we'd never have gotten anywhere near. Moving away from the board of Britain is AfricInvest. So I'd like to thank the board of AfricInvest, I think represented here by George, the chief executive. Thank you so much. In fact, for the longest time, we didn't feel you like the chief executive because we felt you folding your hands and really working with the team to deliver this transaction. Thank you so much. We can't forget your partners who you've come together with as a consortium. DEG, Simas, thank you very much. Propaco, Damien, thank you very much. FMO, I don't think they're represented today. Thank you so much. In starting this journey, so let's clap for AfricInvest. In starting this journey, we started with IFC. IFC are the first one who came to the table, represented here by Edwin Munene. Thank you, Edwin, and the whole of the IFC team. I always say that it was much easier for AfricInvest to come to the table because a recognized name like IFC was already together with us. So thank you for the confidence and thank you for starting with us. Thank you. Moving away from Britain, AfricInvest, IFC, all investors, or all part of the Britain team, I'd like to thank the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Geoffrey, thank you very much for your support. We've always counted on you. In fact, without taking you for granted, we know that you'll support us, and we appreciate that. So we want to say thank you so much for giving us the confidence that as long as you're doing the right things in the market, then you'll always support us. We appreciate it. In absentia, CMA, when you're doing a transaction, CMA becomes part of your team. And even in their absence, I'd like to really recognize that and recognize the support that we've had throughout. Again, it's another institution where we know that as long as we are doing the right thing, there will be no delay, there will be quick approvals, and we can always progress as an institution. We appreciate that. Moving on to Britam management. Again, you've been recognized. I'd like to start with the team that was there in the transaction, as the lead in the transaction, Judah Nico. I don't know whether anyone knows you for anything else other than transaction at Britam. I guess your JT might have to change a little bit now that you're done with the transactions. And people will know what Group Chief Investment Officer does in the ordinary course of business. Thank you so much for holding this transaction. Again, Nancy Kiruki. Nancy, when we started working with Nancy, I used to ask her what are those documents and how you can read documents that looks like piles of papers. And Nancy, you comb through those and you work through the strategy of this transaction from a legal perspective very well. Thank you so much. The rest of the management, without naming all of you, again at the risk of taking too much time, I think the bell has to be rung. Thank you so much. I can see the leaders of the different businesses. Working on a transaction is not easy. Okay, we move on to the transaction advisors on both ends. So Stanbic, our lead transaction advisors, Naval Sud, Francis, Tigunda, you're always there with us. Thank you so much. Bowmans, represented here by Christine Mweti. Thank you, Christine. I feel like you work at Britam. Thank you for supporting us. And then on the side of AfricInvest, Ajawara and Kana, Lodi, thank you so much for being there. It was hard working with you, but you can see getting there very well. So thank you for making the discussion rich. Okay, moving on to our partners, I'd like to thank CBA. George, yes, we work with CBA all the time, so, so it's very great that both works with CBA. Thank you so much. The other the other people in the investment community, I see a good number of you. Ali Kansatu, I like some of the comments that you made. Please promote Britam as you continue. Thank you so much to all of you, investment community, the media, another group of people who support us so well. We see you here in good numbers, and we appreciate you very much. So everyone who came in to attend this function, thank you so much, and we really, truly, as Britam, appreciate that we have and we can count on partnership with you. Thank you.
So thank you, Gladys. I think we just have about 2 minutes tonight, so I think we can. I can invite you as we set up the 9. So I'd like to invite our Group Managing Director, Dr. Wairegi. Also invite our Chairman, Mr. Andrew Hollas, our Director, Dr. Muga, CEO, NSC, Geoffrey Odemba, and Mr. George Odo.
Old school days.
But you don't need the old for me. Just you must give me a countdown. We're in the Octave of 9 o'clock. Okay, so okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm a trained doctor, are you?
Yeah. You get your picture. Okay.
Can do another one?
Normally.
Okay. You want me to ring it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need,
Yes, raise it like
the way it is moving.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you can bring it.
That was a silent.
Just ring it.
Ring it when we clap. Yes, yes. You must all go to your classes now. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
No, sir.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, just redo it again.
Oh, the bell?
The bell. Where's the bell?
What's up? It's break time now.
Can it be a silent bell this time? Okay. Okay.
That captures it.
Enough photographs. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you again.
That's right. Yeah.
Is anybody?
Geoffrey is very keen to get his bell back.
It has a rich history.
That looks of threat.
So, thank you once more for gracing our occasion. I'd like to use this opportunity to tell that the meeting is over. Breakfast is allowed. Welcome for breakfast, and thank you very much.